Hi, welcome back to the Hydroponics Daily. Today's subject is phosphorus. Phosphorus is another nutrient that's essential. It's required for the synthesis of DNA. So obviously something that's required for the synthesis of DNA is going to be required for all life on Earth. There's no life on Earth that doesn't involve DNA. And it's required for energy production. So there's a very short-lived molecule called ATP, and ATP contains phosphorus, and that is what's providing the energy to all the enzymes and all of the factors in your body, in the plant's cells that require energy. So it's not stored as ATP, it's stored as, say, fat in my big belly, or starch in a plant, sugars, and then the sugars, they turn into ATP for driving all the chemical productions. So phosphorus is essential for that. So obviously if you don't have enough phosphorus, you'll get stunted growth, but you'll also get purpling of leaves. That's the key symptom of deficiency. I'm not sure why you get purpling of leaves or what it is that's to do with that. Maybe if you know, drop me a comment. And it's not like the whole leaf goes purple. This whole leaf here is not going to go purple. You'll just get like a mild purpling effect around the margins, and that's a symptom that you could get you've got phosphorus deficiency. By the time that's happened, you've gone too far and your plant is severely affected. So always want to address this beforehand, either by using a good nutrient or by doing a soil test if you're looking at perennial crops. Obviously, if you're growing lettuce, there's no point in doing soil tests and leaf tissue analysis. If you're growing a long perennial crop, you would. It's not just a case of not being enough phosphorus. It could be that there's calcium lockup in the soil, and that's causing an issue. Maybe you've applied too much CalMag. It is possible. You have to apply a lot to do that, but normally that's not the case. Normally it's a high pH issue causing that, and especially when the high pH is caused by calcium, you've got a double bubble there. And you'll see phosphorus deficiency in hydroponics where people have created a 1-part fertilizer and they haven't been able to formulate it in a way that stops calcium and phosphorus interacting. So there are a number of products on sale in North America where there's like a sludge at the bottom, and that's calcium phosphate based. There is the biggest fertilizer company for home and garden that can't be named, based fairly close to Ohio, should we say. They sell a 1-part hydroponics that's just sludge, and that's never going to be available to your plants. That calcium phosphate's been locked up. The good thing about gold leaf, or in the UK, liquid gold, is that we've been able to prevent that negative interaction. The calcium and the phosphorus don't interact. They're both available to the plant. So phosphorus, very important, the second most important nutrient by volume that's required by plants. Another thing it's required for, or that I've missed off this list, is root growth. They often say phosphorus, phosphoroots, and that's why it's so important. So think of nitrogen as leafy growth, think of phosphorus as your roots required for really healthy root systems. So if you're growing, it doesn't matter if you're growing a root crop, big roots, big fruits, as they say, and so phosphorus, very important for that. Another good source of phosphorus is mycorrhizae. Their main role, these beneficial symbiotes, their main role in plant growth is absorbing phosphorus, exuding organic acids out into the soil, solubilizing phosphorus and bringing it back into the plant, and then in return the plant gives them 15% of photosynthetic assimilates. So plants wouldn't do that if it wasn't very important, and so mycorrhizae are very important for that. In fact, if you put a phosphorus fertilizer on a mycorrhizally infected plant, often the plant will ditch the mycorrhiza, and the mycorrhiza will just die off because it's got enough phosphorus. But in a perennial system, mycorrhizae are very important for phosphorus nutrition and maintaining mycorrhizae. I'd always promote mycorrhizae in hydroponics, and something we'll talk about later on. So phosphorus, phosphoroots. Good tip, you can always spot a rubbish fertilizer manufacturer and they'll misspell phosphorus. They'll put an O in there, phosphorus. And the reason they do that is because it doesn't get, they think, lots of words end rus in science, not phosphorus though. And spell check won't pick it up. You'll think you've spelled that correctly because there's a compound called phosphorus acid. and it's actually spelt with an O in it. And so that's why, and it's an obscure compound that's not used very often. It's used in the manufacture of one biostimulant, and that's it really. And so spell check won't pick it up as a spelling mistake, and they'll think they've spelt phosphorus correctly, but they haven't. And it's a good sign that they're idiots playing around with fertilizers that shouldn't really be playing around with it. So always look out for that extraneous, is that the word? O in phosphorus. If you've got anything else you think I've missed about phosphorus, anything you think I've got wrong, leave a comment below, and I'm more than happy to chat nonsense with you online. Thank you very much.